Enjoy a 15-minute mind break with Ben. Ben has unlocked the secrets of understanding how our minds control our business and daily lives. Inside each episode, Ben shares his proven actionable items, tips, and secrets to managing the supercomputer between your ears so you can build and develop your business and start living the life you desire and deserve. This is Practical Psychology for Business with Benjamin Halpern.
Hi, and welcome to this podcast. I'm extremely excited to share with you a great message that will enhance the quality of your life so much in such a big way. Be well worth the time, energy that you need to put in to acquire and develop this great skill, which I call an attitude of gratitude. Let me set it up this way. Why is it so important to be grateful? And then we're going to talk about why it's so difficult and seemingly unnatural. So the reason why it's important to be grateful is because you live or could live in three different dimensions of time. You can live in the past, you can live in the present, and you can live in the future. Now I'm talking about emotionally, because physically you only live in the present. But emotionally, many people live in the past, many people live in the present, and many people live in the future. So to understand this, what emotions are associated when you live in the past? Well, generally, it's going to be guilt, regret, and that type of emotion. Now, if you live in the present, is what we're going to talk about. But before I get there, let's think about living in the future. If you live in the future, what emotion generally will you experience? Well, anxiety, fear, worry, stress, and so on, because you're concerned about the future. Now, what's the emotion that you live in the present? What's the opposite of anxiety and regret? What's the opposite of anxiety and depression? Well, researchers say gratitude. Gratitude is the emotion that will keep you living in the present. Gratitude is the emotion that will protect you from guilt and regret. Gratitude is the emotion that will protect you from anxiety, fear, panic, and stress. So gratitude is extremely important to have good emotional health and enjoy life. Gratitude will help you utilize and make use of the present. Because the only place where you actually can affect anything or do something or create anything is the present. But most of us don't live in the present because we get pulled into living in the past and we get pulled into living in the future, which drains us and doesn't allow us to live in the present, which holds us back from doing what we need to do. Because when I'm living in the past, I can't do anything. It's over. If I'm living in the future, I can't do anything because it's not here yet. But if I'm living in worry, or I'm living in stress, if I'm living in guilt, or I'm living in anxiety, I'm not living in the present. So I can't do anything with my life. So it's extremely important to be in the present, to utilize the present. But in order to utilize the present and live in the present, I need to have an attitude of gratitude. Now, why is it so not natural? Because the reality is that our brains are wired for survival. Because think about it. Going back 2,000 years ago, your brain was always concerned about surviving, getting food, protecting yourself from danger, animals, dangerous people. So pretty much we were living in a survival mode. And that's how our brain is really wired. So it's always looking out to see what could go wrong, what may go wrong, and how to protect ourselves. But today, that we live in a safe environment, in a safe place, and really don't have much danger that we're facing, the brain is wired to always look for danger. So it's worried about the information that we lived in the past and what can happen in the future. But it's really not beneficial in today's environment when really we're in a safe place and we have the luxury of living in the present. So it's not something that you naturally are wired with. You need to learn how to develop it. Now, obviously, our brain has the capability and ability to do it. And many people live in the present and live in gratitude. It's a doable thing. You have to learn the skill of living in the present. You have to learn the skill of being grateful. Now, you might tell me, what are you talking about? I know that I have so many beautiful, great things in my life that I could be grateful for. Now, you need to recognize when I'm saying gratitude, I'm not saying knowing what to be grateful for in your head. I'm saying feeling it in your heart, feeling the emotion. Because when you feel worry, when you feel anxiety, when you feel stress, if you just know in your mind things are dangerous, it doesn't affect you. You know you're going to die one day. It's the only way off this planet, and it's the only guarantee you have in life, and most people don't get distressed by it because it's a piece of knowledge they know in their mind. It's not something they feel in their heart. But when you're stressed out during the day, it's because you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel regret. It's not that you know there's something to be regretful for, or you know there's something to be stressed about. It's that you feel it, you experience it. When we're talking about living an attitude of gratitude, it's not just knowing that the world's a great place and you have so many benefits in your life. It's feeling it in your heart. It's you experience and live that emotion of being grateful is what we're talking about. That's when you have the present. That's when you have the peace of mind to look around and enjoy and smell the coffee. So being in the present is being grateful for what's going on in your life. Now, there's a wide genre of things you could be grateful for. You could be grateful for things that you have, just God-given gifts like you could see, you could hear, you could walk, you could talk. Now, that's something extremely valuable to be grateful for because proof is that if you lost your vision or ability to walk for 2 years and after much surgery you had it restored, you would be drunk from gratefulness and so excited and happy. Now, just because you didn't lose it doesn't mean you can't be happy about it. The reason why you don't feel the joy and happiness is because you become habituated. The way it works is that any emotion that we have, after a while, we get used to. The maximum that it takes to get used to an emotion is 12 months. I'll share with you a fascinating study they did in Harvard. They studied to figure out who is happier 12 months later. Somebody that wins a $500 million lottery, or somebody that becomes a quadriplegic. They're in an accident and they're wheelchair bound, unable to move their hands or feet for the rest of their lives. Who's in a better place 12 months later? And you know what they found? Equal. They both come back to their baseline 12 months later. This one rides the joy and happiness of winning $500 million lottery, and by 12 months later, they're back to their baseline. And this one rides the pain of their terrible loss, and 12 months later, they're back to their baseline. So the biggest changes in life at the maximum take 12 months. Some things that are smaller take a couple of minutes, or an hour, or a day, or a week. Maximum 12 months. You know that in your life, if you get a new car, how long is there the excitement of the new car? Well, it only lasts a certain amount of time. But definitely by the time a year comes around, it's gone. A new outfit. Anything new, after a while, dies out. But if it's going to die out, how are we going to enjoy life and be grateful and enjoy what we have? So we have to learn the skill of not allowing good things to habituate. We don't want it to go away. We want it to stay. We want it to be around. We want to enjoy it. We want to experience it. We want to feel great. So just because I don't lose my vision, why can't I appreciate it? Just because I don't lose my ability to walk, why can't I appreciate it? Just because I want to learn how to juice up feelings towards the fact that I could see, hear, walk. Now there's the gifts that you have outside. Clothing, cars, food, house, other things that I have outside. Those can give me an enormous amount of joy. Just because I have it for a while doesn't mean it has to die out. There's a skill of how to juice up good feelings, how to focus on it, how to think about what would happen if I lost it, how to once again reconnect with the joy of the new car, the joy of my new house, the joy of my new child, the joy of my new relationship, how to juice it up. Focus on it. Don't let it just die out and dwindle away. Then there's the whole genre of simple things that you do during the day. The joy of drinking a coffee, the joy of, beautiful weather, the joy of nice views, nice music. You see, we get used to many, many, many experiences, but we could focus in and connect with it and appreciate the smell of the coffee, the taste of the coffee, the warmth of the coffee, so it actually becomes a good experience. We can focus in on the benefits of the loved ones around us, the joys that we have. Remember different stories and experiences that we had with them that made us feel good, the times we felt connected. Remember different events when we felt happy, when we felt joy. If we forget about it, we habituate it. But if we bring it back and reconnect with feelings of when I felt excited, when I felt happy, when I felt loved, when I felt appreciated, when I felt connected, bring up, experience it in the moment, experience it now. Watch good movies in your brain. Think about all the good things you have physically. Think about all the good things you have emotionally. Think about all the good things you have spiritually. Think about all the good things that are going on around you. Where you live, the country, the state, the neighborhood, the block, the climate. There's so much to focus on that's so beautiful. If you're listening to this, means that you live somewhere where you have the ability to be attached to electronics and have this beauty in your life. Most of the world doesn't have that luxury. Enjoy it, appreciate it. What's it worth if you don't enjoy it? What's it worth if you won the lottery and you don't know about it? You need to know about it. What's it worth if you have all these good relationships, all these blessings, all these happiness in your life if you don't feel it? It's not just in your mind. If you don't feel it and you don't associate with it, it's as if you don't have it from an emotional standpoint. So learn to make lists, connect with these stuff. Imagine that you lost it. How much joy you would have if you got it back. Remember times when you appreciated it, when you enjoyed it. Come back, bring it back, play it over, juice it up. Learning how to develop an attitude of gratitude emotionally is an extremely important skill that you need to learn to stay out of the future, to stay out of the past, to live in the present. And living in the present gives you the ability to do what you need to do in a space that you could do. And you could create change. And you could develop and do what you need to do to create the life that you desire and you deserve. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast, and I look forward to continuing sharing with you the skills, tools, and methodologies that you need to create the life that you desire and deserve.